Polymarket and prediction markets and everybody betting on what people are going to say at any given moment. And you read off the words that people were betting on the call. You said Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, staking, Web3. Tens of thousands of dollars had been bet on each of those words. People were betting on whether you would actually say those words, and then you effectively were trolling them, I think. Can you tell us? Tell me what you think about that and what you think about prediction markets if you can effectively determine the winner in such a way. And by the way, there's lots of folks who are now bet. There are people in here. I heard that there were people making bets about what was going to happen at DealBook. CNN just made a contract with Kalshi, apparently, to have people bet on news. Mm-hmm. What were you thinking during the conference call?
Yeah, well, the conference call was me just having a little bit of fun. But I think the bigger picture here is that prediction markets are a big deal, and it's for 1% of people, they're trading it just like another asset class. But for 99% of people, they're looking at it as an alternative, I think, to traditional media, actually, to figure out what's going to happen in the world. And then some people are also just using it for entertainment, right? So it's a very interesting new area. I think that actually we're going to see even more potential here. Like an example would be policymakers could actually use prediction markets to say, okay, of these three policies, which one will raise GDP or which one will lower unemployment the most or whatever metric you're trying to get. And they can get signal from the market about which policy to actually go implement. So it's one more example of this trend of kind of taking.
Do you worry about manipulation? I mean, that's the other big part of it. And by the way, you effectively manipulated the outcome.
Yeah, well, I didn't trade on it, of course, but I actually had a really interesting conversation with one of the folks that was nominated to be CFTC commissioner about this, and he asked me, he said, do you think we should allow insider trading in prediction markets? And I said, it's actually it's not a clear-cut question, right? Because if your goal is to actually, for the 99% of people trying to get signal about what's going to happen in the world, like is the Suez Canal going to be reopened or whatever, you actually want insider trading. You want, some admiral sitting on a ship in the Suez Canal who has really good information to be trading so you get better, higher quality signal out of them, right? Now, if you want to preserve the integrity of those markets, maybe you don't want insider trading, right? So there might be like a decentralization test that has to go in here, but it's not a clear-cut answer.
Larry, I don't know what they're betting you're going to say, but you just sort of made a face.
We try to help people navigate a 30-year outcome. I don't really care about what happens the next moment. I mean, I'm aware in the betting market, in football, you could bet every play. I mean, to me, this is not how I'm going to live my life.
Larry Fink, Brian Armstrong, thank you both.